Hello everyone, welcome to Any Pluto. Let's start the video. Toward the start of the film, a sales rep named Bemis is shown. He was offering the creatures in a town. He tells the public that these creatures do a great deal of work, yet they don't have minds. That is the reason he's presented to them a few new creatures. Following that, Bemis' buddies Knife and Olive bring creatures inside. These creatures were called Thorifants, and they were a combination of elephants and ponies. Later they welcome in front of an audience a Thorifant named Mosely. Everybody is shocked when they understand the creatures can impart. Bemis welcomes them to offer on them. Mosely becomes concerned. Does it request that his mom realize what is happening? Yet, its mom likewise is clueless. Like this, they bid and Mosely was sold. They take Mosely with them. After it, the following scene is displayed for 25 years. Presently, Mosely has developed senior. We are shown that Mosely has a family now. It is hitched to Bera and has a 5-year-old child named Lament. It is found here that a man named Simon bought Mosely. He used to take a great deal of work from Mosely. That man is irritated and awful. Yet, Mosely doesn't lose boldness as a result of dealing with its loved ones. It used to do each errand. After it, Bemis the sales rep is again shown, who had sold Mosely. He has an old Thorifant moreover. Its name was Turpin. Mosely's family knows Turpin for quite a while. Bemis concurs Simon by the land close by. He requests that he bid on more in return for the land. To stop it, Mosely comes and tells Simon that it is an abandoned land and there is no good thing in it. Yet, Simon beats Mosely and drives it out. Presently we are shown that Bera was pregnant. What's more, it was commending the bliss of happening to the new child. Around evening time, Mosely's child says that he has seen a bizarre spot. It requests that Mosely go there. Be that as it may, Mosely was drained, so Mosely doesn't have any desire to go there. Bera requests that Mosely goes to the spot with Lament. After it, Regret and Mosely move for the put and meet a few fireflies on the way. They at last arrive at the cavern with the fireflies with them. Arriving there, Mosely sees the drawings of Thorifants on the cavern. The most abnormal thing is, those Thorifants were remaining on their feet. Also, they were working with their hands. Presently, Mosely recalls Turpin had let them know the number of the Thorifants made a trip toward the north to escape from people, and the survivor Thorifants left here were made slaves by people. Anyway, the Thorifants have still an expectation that one day the upstanding Thorifants will without a doubt come to save them. Anyway, numerous Thorifants think they have failed to remember them. After this, Mosely gets back with Lament. It likewise requests that Bera stay and warn away from this, since Regret shouldn't take care of such things in its psyche. While speaking, they hear Simon and Bemis chatting with one another. They hear Simon shares with Bemis that he will sell Regret when the new child shows up. Now he is prepared for this. Hearing it, Bera tells Mosely kindly accomplish something. It additionally says, I figure no one but upstanding can save us now. The following day, Simon gets Mosely to the new field request to furrow. At the point when it begins furrowing, the ground seems rough and at last the furrow breaks. Mosely tumbles to the ground, yet Simon pushes it, albeit the furrow was broken. Simon ends up being irate. In the wake of beating that much torment, Mosely seems maddened and makes plans to save its family. It says to mourn that it is going looking for uprights. It requests that Tuesday deal with its mom. Later it runs towards the woods. Simon and numerous others move to look for Mosely. However, they couldn't look through it. Simon returns out of resentment and lock Bera and Regret's shed so they won't run from that point. Bemis illuminates Simon that he will search for anybody who can bring Mosely back. Later, Bemis brings a hazardous tracker named Warfield. Lament comprehends after seeing the tracker that its dad is in peril now. Lament moves furtively from that point to save its dad. Turpin stops it and says, your mom needs you, ought to stop here. On another side, the tracker Warfield moves to the woodland to bring Mosely back. Bemis sends Knife and Olive behind him so he will get to know how to get Thorifants. While pushing ahead in the cavern, Mosely gets stuck falling into a trench. In the meantime, Warfield additionally shows up neighboring. Mosely comprehends that it was the snare of that tracker. Anyway, Knife and Ollie likewise show up in the cavern, and Ollie additionally falls into the snare because of his thoughtless nature. After it, Mosely emerges from the snare taking Ollie's help. It pushes ahead while getting away from Warfield. Mosely emerges from the cavern and sees some waterfalls. It sees behind Warfield was all the while pursuing it. Mosely pushes ahead while running it slips and tumbles down. It sees Warfield was still behind it. Mosely gets weak while tumbling down. At the point when it stirs, it winds up in a cavern behind cascades. It seems it is a palace-like spot. Mosely hears a few voices it sees covertly and feels like somebody is seeing it. Here we are shown that these are uprights and they are hiding away far from civilization. They come to Mosely. Their names were Warnie, Deaver, and Guyleen. Deaver tells Mosely that it didn't aware at all that other Thorofants are living outside. Moreover, Mosely asks them what are they doing here. It says Guyleen has seen a few fireflies in its fantasy around evening time. After it, they generally come here. Mosely informs them of its concern. It says they all need to accompany their military to save them from people. They have confidence in Mosely and take Mosely to their island. On how they educate Mosely concerning the utilization of the hands and the number of assignments they that can finish with their hands. On another side, Warfield is shown he has arrived at this palace following Mosely. While strolling, they arrive at Timberland. What's more, this forest is known as the Incomparable Plantation. Warnie lets Mosely know that their city is behind these woods. It likewise tells that they can't go to this woodland since they are debased. There is a Thorofant tree and a watchman is protecting it. In any case, in some way or another, that watchman isn't satisfied with them. That is the reason the Thorofant who goes to the forest never brings back. After it, Mosely finds a fold under the timberland. Mosely says we will get through this cavern. Like this, we won't have to go inside the backwoods. They all trust Mosely. Be that as it may, as they move, every one of the trees begin to tumble down. They return in some way or another, saving their life. After it, they move from a long way and stop in a cavern to go through an evening. On another side, Regret is shown in helping its mom. Learning various works was likewise trying. Turpin was likewise present, and he lets Morn know that it ought to remain here until its dad returns. On another side, Guyleen moves while pursuing a few fireflies. The other three move behind Galen to stop it. Warfield likewise showed up here. Mosely lets them know Warfield is pursuing it for quite a while. After it, Guyleen requests that Mosely put stock in fireflies, and they hop from the precipice. Warnie and Deaver thought that they might have kicked the bucket. Anyway, they come with potential gain through fireflies while flying. After it, Deaver and Warnie likewise bounce and fly through fireflies and move far. Like this, they were saved from Warfield. Because of fireflies, Mosely reaches and enters the city cheerfully. Mosely gets stunned seeing this. How all the Thorofants were living like people. It becomes blissful on this. Presently, these uprights will save their loved ones. In any case, its bliss changes into stress in a brief time frame when it sees that all the Thorofants are old here. Warnie claims that nobody has been brought into the world here in quite a while. This is all a direct result of the Incomparable Plantation's revival. It tells that all the Thorofants are experiencing the last snapshots of their life. After Mosely becomes discouraged, it remembers to get back to its loved ones. Warnie requests that it stay another day since we are additionally similar to your family and the Sovereign would be glad to meet you. Bemis then again tracks down a reasonable plan on Turpin. He comes to take Turpin. The lament was miserable because Turpin was leaving. Turpin says to Lament, don't be miserable, your dad will get back soon. Be that as it may, until it returns you should be just about serious areas of strength for your dad. Bemis tells Simon that he will get back soon. He will come to take Regret when the new child shows up. In the following scene, we are shown that the opportunity has arrived for Bereth to have a youngster, and it conceives an offspring of a kid. On another side, Mosely meets the Sovereign and sees the palace is behind the plantation. The Sovereign says at first it has hardly any insight into Mosely's concerns, yet presently, after knowing it, they will help it at any expense. At the point when the Sovereign said this, all the Thorofants prepare to will go with Mosely. In the interim, an old Thorofant comes inside terrified. It says a human has entered their city. That human was Warfield. All the Thorofants request that Warfield return, yet consequently Warfield harms Guyleen. The other Thorofants take Guyleen inside. Gillen requests that Mosely have faith in fireflies. It tells you need to follow them. After it, Mosely sees a few fireflies in privileged positions. It hits a thought. It requests that everybody stow away, since it needs to take Warfield to that extraordinary plantation. What's more, if Warfield pursues it, it will be simple for him to do as such. The Sovereign tells it assuming it some way or another can eat the product of that unadulterated tree, this revile will be eliminated. The Sovereign tells it must be cautious from that gatekeeper of the Incomparable Plantation, since the watchman would rather not let anybody approach that tree. As per the arrangement, Mosely takes Warfield to the woodland. It battles with Warfield with its full power. After some time, it tosses Warfield. Then, at that point, Mosely sees a few fireflies. They were calling it close to the unadulterated tree. Mosely runs towards the unadulterated tree, yet Warfield again goes after it. This time Mosely tumbles down gravely. Warfield accepts he will destroy Mosely's life. In any case, before he does anything, every one of the fireflies becomes a champion, consolidating all together. After it, they vanish while picking Mosely with them. Anyway, Warfield moves inside the woods while pursuing Mosely. Also, got into the forest for eternity. On the opposite side, Mosely in the end reaches the unadulterated tree following the fireflies. Simultaneously, all of the Thorofants in the palace suspect Mosely is dead. In any case, abruptly Mosely shows up with every one of the fireflies. The fireflies recuperate every one of the injuries of Mosely. Here we find that essentially the watchman of the tree were that large number of fireflies. Mosely recalls the fireflies were directing him for quite a while. These fireflies provided with the product of the unadulterated tree. On another side, Regret is shown expressing farewell to its more youthful sister Rosie and mother because Bemis has shown up to bring lament from Simon. Bera becomes discouraged due to it. However, here we notice a shadow seen strolling. It was Mosely. Mosely comes to Simon while strolling like people. It requests that he leave his loved ones. Simon doesn't submit to it, and after it Mosely shows him its new getup. Lament additionally rushes to check whether its dad setting itself free from Bemis. Here Mosely sees Rosie. It lifts it and becomes very glad to see it. Later Mosely makes its family to eat the unadulterated organic product. Furthermore, after it they generally become uprights eating the natural product. Furthermore, ultimately Mosely and his family are shown being moved to the upstanding city, and accordingly this astounding film closes here. Thanks for watching my video. Please like and subscribe to Any Pluto.